Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. Where the morning glories twine around the door, whispering pretty stories I long to hear once more. Strolling with my girlie where the dew is pearly early in the morning. Butterflies all flutter up and kiss each little buttercup at dawning. If I had a last lap for only a day, I'd make a wish, and here's what I'd say. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Carolina in the Morning by Gus Kahn and Walter Donaldson. What a great tune to play on the ukulele. It's got such great chords. It's got that moving chord progression that never gives up. It's just like 2 chords per measure. You just never, a lot of songs you kind of sit on a chord for 4 or 5 measures. This one you keep moving forward, which gives it a lot of excitement, a lot of fun, and it shows off your ukulele skills. It also employs some jazz chords, and those are always kind of fun to add in. Most of them are pretty easy. You start off with a C chord. That's not a jazz chord, of course. Then it goes to a C major 7th. That is a jazz chord. All it is the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Then we go to another jazz chord. It's really, really difficult. It's called a C 6th. No fingers at all. It's just open strings, a C 6th. Then it goes to a C sharp diminished 7th. Now this is played like this. The middle finger goes on the 1st fret of the 1st string. The index finger goes on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And there's your C sharp, it's hard to say, C sharp diminished 7th. Then it goes to a D minor 7th. Now, a D minor 7th, let's construct that chord. Start with an F chord. I think most of us know that, F chord. Put the ring finger in, tuck it in underneath here on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Now that changes it from an F to a D minor. Now you could play a D minor here. If you have a D minor 7th, D minor works fine too. Okay, if you don't get the 7th part of the chord in there quick enough, just play D minor. To get the 7th in there, put your little pinky up on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And now you've got all 4 strings being held down. That gives you a chance to go. I'm going to get into that technique in another tutorial. Then it goes to G7th. Once again, G7th, you got to kind of swivel your hand this way to get that ring finger in there on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. And then it goes back to D minor. Now here it goes to A augmented, or A plus. Same means the same thing. All right, so you know an A is played like this. Okay, to get the A augmented, just take an F chord and then. So what I did there was I put the middle finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, index fingers on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and the ring finger is way over here on the 2nd fret of the 4th. Isn't that a pretty chord? Kind of hangs there. It's kind of a suspension kind of chord. So it goes, no one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her. I love that chord progression because you've got that descending pattern. Do you hear that? Actually ascending. It's going up, isn't it? What am I thinking about? It's a beautiful spring day. I'm thinking it's going down. It's going up. So we go D minor. Nothing could be sweeter. No, it does go down, doesn't it? So D minor, A augmented, F, G 7th, in the morning. Now what is that pretty chord? That's an E flat diminished 7th. So the little pinky's on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, the ring finger's on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Now bring the middle finger in on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and bring the index finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th. I've done this in another tutorial. I might do this again. These are the diminished 7th chords. And the cool thing about them is they're movable. So if I move it up 1, now it's an E diminished 7th. Move up another, now it's an F diminished 7th. Move it again, F sharp diminished 7th. Move it again, G diminished 7th. So you see, it's the diminished 7th that's in the 2nd fret, meaning these two fingers are in the 2nd fret. That's E flat diminished 7th. Okay, so I think I've covered most of the odder chords in the song, if you want to call them odd. There it goes, whispering pretty stories, E7. I long to hear once more. And then at the very end of the song, nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. And there's our C6 chord to end it. A little stinger on the end. The Beatles used to do that on many of their earlier tunes. They just stick a C6 to kind of put a little punctuation on the end. All I'm doing for the strumming pattern is just down, up, down, up, down, up, shuffle, syncopated. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. Where the morning, and now when you practice this, don't do it that fast, okay? Take time with it. Take it very slow. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Do it very slow. Eventually, when you get daring, you can get the tempo up, and that sounds really cool. You can really show off your skills. By the way, this is an absolutely elegant piece on a ukulele banjo, if you can get your hands on one. It's so cool on a ukulele banjo. All right, there you have it. Carolina in the morning. Have fun with it. And as always, happy strumming. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. That is what we call a vamp, V-A-M-P. A vamp is just a chord progression that loops and repeats, and you can play it as many times as you want. It's a great little intro. It's a great in-between verses kind of thing. If you want to have a little pause before you go to the next verse. You can put it at the end of a song. You can play, you can use it in all kinds of purposes. It's the thing that, that performers tend to play and they go, hi everybody, this next song is a little tune by Kahn and Walter Donaldson. It's called Carolina in the Morning. They do it behind their little patter, see? But it's kind of fun as a kind of little introductory thing to the song. And all I'm doing is I'm playing a C chord, then I'm going to that E flat diminished 7th. This is a real standard progression, nice and jazzy. Going to a D minor 7th. Now look at that E flat diminished 7th. The little finger's on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Leave it down. It's an anchor finger. Leave it down and then just make a D minor. And when you have that little finger added there down, it makes it into a D minor 7th. So you got your C chord, E flat diminished 7th, D minor 7th, G 7th. That's the entire progression. And I'm doing a little percussive thing. I'm going to do a tutorial on this a little later, explain this in more thorough detail. But do you hear that kind of clipped staccato feel? As opposed to what you could do too, just as nicely. So there you have one vamp. There's many other kinds of vamps, many other kinds of progressions. I'm going to be doing also some more videos on vamps because that's in the key of C. That's a vamp. So any song in the key of C, you can use that as an opening vamp. Keep that in your little tool box of tricks there. But I'm going to give you more as time goes on in other keys and more vamps in the key of C as well. So there you have it. Have fun with it and happy strumming. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her. For lots of reasons, I haven't done a lot of videos recently in the last number of months. I'm going to be doing more now. And I just thought I'd take this opportunity once again to point out this ukulele that I'm using is the Oscar Schmidt OUUM 200K. OUUM. OU means Oscar ukulele. UM means ukulele mic. So you'll see my name up on the headstock there. I don't know if you can see that or not. So this is my signature model that I had an opportunity to help design. In a sense, I came up with the structure for the slotted headstock. It has a solid red cedar top, very responsive sound. It has the mahogany sides and back. Has really, really nice purfling around here, like an abalone purfling. Ebony fingerboard, I believe. Rosewood bridge and pearl inlays. So there, it's the OUUM 200K. You can get it online. You can get it at retail stores and whatnot. I've seen it all kinds of prices up and down, including case even. So it's the OUUM 200K from Oscar Schmidt. It's a tenor. It's a tenor model. All right, there you have it. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. No one could be sweeter than my sweetie when I meet her in the morning. Where the morning glories twine around the door, whispering pretty stories I long to hear once more. Strolling with my girlie where the dew is pearly early in the morning. Butterflies all flutter up and kiss each little buttercup at dawning. If I had a lion's lap for only a day, I'd make a wish, and here's what I'd say. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning.